Welcome into Outkick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope wherever you are across this great country or this great land, you are having a fantastic start to your weekend. Let me give you some gambling picks. Let me discuss the Patrick Mahomes injury last night. I've got to talk about Zion out potentially for weeks with an injury. Kirby and Mark Richt, Kirby Smart and Mark Richt, some interesting similarities that are factored in. And Hillary Clinton calls Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset. It's a crazy accusation. We're going to dive into that one. Yes, I have got a new fresh and clean haircut just in time for the weekend. I'm headed out to LA on Sunday. Lots of travel coming in my schedule in the near future, but all of that still to come. Let's dive right into the big story of the day, which is the injury that happened to Patrick Mahomes last night. Now, I want to start off the top. There are some people out there who have said, oh my God, how in the world would the Kansas City Chiefs have made the decision to rush Patrick Mahomes on a quarterback sneak? I think that's crazy. The quarterback sneak is actually safer statistically than dropping him back to pass and potentially getting him hit. And the reason why people are asking that is because he had a high ankle sprain and he was already injured. That doesn't make any sense at all, okay? I mean, that's a ludicrous argument in my opinion. But the latest news that is out is actually favorable for Patrick Mahomes. He had an MRI. It has now been reported that the structural damage is not significant. Effectively, what happened was his kneecap displaced, I think, for lack of a better way to describe the medical injury here. And as a result, the question is, how long is he going to be out? I believe if you look at the schedule, there's no point whatsoever, unless they go 0-3 or 0-4, to rush Patrick Mahomes back. Right now, the Chiefs are 5-2. Their next two games are against the Green Bay Packers and against the Minnesota Vikings. Then they go on the road against the Titans, and they play in Mexico City, I believe it is, against the Chargers. Then they have a bye week. I would sit him out 4 weeks. I would let him get completely healthy, the fifth week being the bye week. He would have 6 weeks to come back. I think it's likely that the Chiefs could go 2-2 in that 4-game stretch, which would put them at, 7-4 in the final 5-game rush. Probably be good enough to win them the AFC West still. And you bring back Patrick Mahomes and you don't have any major issues with him going forward. That, to me, is beyond a shadow of a doubt the most likely outcome and the smartest outcome. You allow him to get back healthy. You likely, with Matt Moore, can go 2-2 in those 4 games, again, against the Packers, against the Vikings at home, Titans and Chargers on the road. One of those games in Mexico City, which means it won't be probably ideal field conditions. And as a result, you go 2-2. You're sitting then at 7-4. You're going to win the AFC West. You'll host a home playoff game. To me, the biggest storyline here is the Patriots are now just a monumentally massive favorite in the AFC. I mean, just off the charts. Monumental favorite in the AFC. The NFC, there's a lot of good teams up near the top. The Patriots are going to be the number 1 overall seed. They're already 6-0. They should go to 7-0 this Monday night coming up when they get to play against the Jets. Sitting at 7-0, they would have 9 games left and at least a 2 or 3 game lead on everybody else. And so I think you're talking about them maybe not even having to worry in December. If they can get to 12 wins, I'm not sure anybody else in the AFC can get to 12 wins. 12-4 probably gets you home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And as a result, I think that is pretty intriguing. Now, there was talk about the Chiefs potentially making a trade if Matt Moore was going to have to play for a longer period of time. But I think if you've got Matt Moore for only 4 games, I don't really know that it's worth giving up assets to go get somebody. But it's worth noting between now and October 29th, Marcus Mariota, Ryan Tannehill, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jameis Winston, and Eli Manning, 5 of them out there right now, potentially grabbable on the overall trade market. But it looks like with Matt Moore 2-2, I think you can go 2-2. Even if you go 1-3, you're still sitting at 6-4 and still in great shape, I think, or 6-5, I guess it would be, great shape to potentially win the division overall. So I'm not too worried about that, even though it's a major injury. I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. The NFL dodged a bullet right then and there. All right, I have got gambling picks for you guys. And my goal, as always, is to make you rich. All right, gambling picks start tonight. Important to note, Ohio State is playing Northwestern tonight on the Big Ten Network. Here are my gambling picks. I am right around 51% and change so far on the year. The positive is the blood bank guarantee has been 5-2. Some of you got it at 6-2. So we have been on fire with my favorite pick of the week. Starting tonight, I love Ohio State to beat Northwestern. Some stats for you. Northwestern has scored 7, 10, 15, and 10 points against FBS opponents so far this year. I don't think they'll have a lot of success against Ohio State, and I don't think they'll have a lot of success stopping them from being able to score. I like Ohio State to cover the 4 touchdowns. First blood bank guarantee, and we got 2 this weekend. Tap the veins, boys and girls. Tap the veins. Florida at South Carolina. I love the under here. Last 5 games in Columbia, South Carolina, between these two teams, gone under 49. Under 49. This is going to be 6 in a row under 49. Now, I hope you hopped on this one early. I gave it out to you at 49. I believe it is most often now down to 45.5, if I'm not mistaken. I think this number has dropped all the way to 45.5 is the most recent number that I have seen. I love the under. You now have got a 4.5 point spread. If you were smart enough and quick enough, 3.5 point spread, I guess it is, to have hopped on this the minute that it came out. Again, it's all the way down to 45.5 from 49. Auburn. I love Auburn blowing out, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Arkansas. I don't think this is going to be remotely close. I love Auburn at Arkansas. Big time win. Big time. Huge win coming for Auburn on the road. Auburn the last 3 years against Arkansas. 56-3, 52-20, and 34-3. All of those big covers. I think it continues. Auburn gets back healthy after a bye week, after a beatdown against Florida, comes back and wipes out Arkansas on the road in Fayetteville. Clemson at Louisville. I like Louisville plus 24. I like the over. Louisville's going to give up a lot of points. 35, 39, and 59 points the past 3 weeks. That's how much Louisville has given up in the last 3 weeks of ACC play. Let me repeat it again. 35, 39, and 59. Love the over here. And also love Louisville to cover the 24. Wisconsin. Wisconsin has played 6 games so far this year. In 5 of them, they have come close to getting a shutout. 4 of them have actually been shutouts, all right? Wisconsin has won so far this year 49-0, 61-0, 48-0, 38-0. They're going up against Illinois. Remember, they were also up 35-0 on Michigan. I absolutely love the Badgers against Illinois. I'm not sure Illinois scores. Wisconsin covers the 31. I don't think there is any doubt at all there. Kentucky, Georgia. I love the over here a little bit, but what I love even more is Georgia absolutely boat racing Kentucky. I don't think this will be remotely close. 42-3 that Georgia takes it to Kentucky. This Kentucky offense is awful. Georgia's had a week to stew over a poor performance against South Carolina. I think they take out their frustrations on Kentucky. 42-3, easy cover. LSU at Mississippi State. Talk has started that Joe Moorhead might want out of Mississippi State. Went 8-5 in year 1, has fallen back to 3-3 this year, coming off of a really poor performance against Tennessee. I think LSU's offense will travel. They scored 66 on the road against Vanderbilt. They scored big numbers on the road, 45 I think it was in Austin. I don't think there's any way Mississippi State can keep up with LSU. I know that Stark Vegas has not been the greatest place for LSU to play, but I believe this is going to be a blowout for LSU. I love LSU here. Mizzou at Vandy. Mizzou has a great chance, I believe, to destroy Vanderbilt. I think Derek Mason's going to finish 2-10 this year, probably get fired by the new athletic director at Vanderbilt. Only wins will be over 2 non-FBS teams. Or I think they beat Northern Illinois and they would beat East Tennessee State. I think that's it. Mizzou people have rolled into Nashville. I met a bunch of them last night. I was out at my bar, Downtown Sporting Club, downtown Nashville. We did a podcast recording, met a bunch of Mizzou people walking around downtown Nashville. Welcome to town. Go cover against Vanderbilt. I need that money. And finally, second blood bank guarantee. Tap the veins, boys and girls. Second blood bank guarantee. I am all over Penn State to be able to cover against Michigan. I think this is going to be a blowout, going to be an absolute beatdown coming from James Franklin and Penn State over Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. Go ahead and tap the veins. Again, my double blood bank guarantee. I love Michigan, Penn State, and I love Penn State to cover against Michigan, and I also love the under in South Carolina, Florida. Those are all the picks. Hop on, get rich, kids. That's what's out there. Now, a couple other news stories. Zion Williamson out for weeks. This is disappointing. I said I'm headed out to LA. I'm going to go watch the Lakers and the Clippers play on Tuesday of next week to start the season. I'll be out in LA for several days doing the shows, but I'm going to watch that one in person. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to go watch that game. Rooting for Kawhi and the Clippers to take down LeBron and the Lakers, but it's disappointing for the NBA not to have Zion because for the East Coast, Zion Williamson was supposed to be the lead-in. He is going to be out for weeks. They're not sure exactly how long it's going to be, but this goes to whether Zion's body can withstand the rigors of NBA activity. There just aren't very many people physically in the history of the world who have been as big and explosive as Zion Williamson is purely from a weight perspective. Can his body continue to uphold all of that exertion and force as he continues to dominate like he is? I don't know the answer. I think he needs to trim up. I think he needs to slim up. But this is a big hit in conjunction with the Patrick Mahomes injury. I hope superstar injuries don't come in threes because we just got Patrick Mahomes and now we got Zion Williamson news. Interesting point of discussion here. This is really interesting. Mark Richt, when he arrived at Georgia, do you know what his record was through the first 3.5 seasons at Georgia? 37-9. Do you know what Kirby Smart's record is through the first 3.5 seasons at Georgia? 37-11. This is going to blow a lot of people's mind. Mark Richt was better starting at Georgia than Kirby Smart has been. Both of them won one SEC title. Kirby Smart right now sitting with a worse record. He's played more games, but Mark Richt was 37-9 to start. Kirby Smart 37-11 to start. This is why I said when Georgia lost to Alabama, I was surprised by the way that Georgia fans responded. 2 years ago, they were like, well, we'll be back and we'll win a national championship soon. I think they were buying into a statistical aberration, which is what Nick Saban has done and what Dabo Swinney has done. It's unbelievably rare for a team to be as dominant as those two have been. I think it's more likely that Kirby Smart is just really good, just like Mark Richt was really good in his early tenure at Georgia. And if you're just really good, there's a big difference between being really good and being great. Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, and Dabo Swinney, I think, are great coaches. They may be the only three great coaches we've really seen in the last 20-ish years of college football. Mark Richt, so far, very good coach. So far, and Mark Richt's career may be over now, so far Kirby Smart, very good coach. And so I wonder whether Georgia fans have bought into this idea that Kirby Smart is a lot better than he actually is. Having said that, I said don't hit the panic button on the loss to South Carolina. I still believe Georgia wins out. They're sitting at 11-1 in the SEC title game, and they will need to win that one in order to go to the playoff. They don't have a mulligan anymore. Finally, I don't know if you guys saw this story, but this is really weird. Hillary Clinton has effectively gone all in on like conspiracy theories, which is wild. She was on a podcast, David Plouffe, who was one of Obama's top advisors, and she said, as I follow, I'm reading quotes, they are going to do third party again, meaning I don't know who. I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who is currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She is a favorite of the Russians. She's talking about Tulsi Gabbard. She's a favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. That's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she is also a Russian asset. This is wild. Hillary Clinton just accused two Americans who are running for president, both women, of being Russian assets. Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein. And that is wild in and of itself for Hillary Clinton to be all in on the idea of these women being Russian assets. Can you imagine if Donald Trump accused two Democrats of being Russian assets? People would lose their minds over that. Yet Hillary Clinton is out here throwing elbows at Tulsi Gabbard and at Jill Stein because she still can't get over the fact that she didn't win the 2016 race. I also am curious, what's the absolute drop-dead date for Hillary Clinton to enter the 2020 race? Just asking that question. Just curious whether Hillary at the last minute could decide to hop in this race because there's no clear-cut favorite, because Joe Biden has been wobbly, because Elizabeth Warren maybe is not as good of a version of Hillary Clinton as she feels like she is herself. This is just worth paying attention to see what exactly happens. But to call Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein a Russian agents, effectively, is a wild accusation. All right. I love all of you. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. We got Lock It In on at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central, 2:30 Mountain, 1:30 Pacific time. We will hang out. We will have a great time on that show. And then I hope you play all the picks. Hope you make some money. DBAP, unless you need to SBAP. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Kisses, boys and girls. Have great weekends. See y'all. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See y'all.